In the previous topic, we have looked at these three components of Room. We will start by creating three classes for each of these inside the database package. Let's begin by creating a class for entities. We know that the entities is used to store data in the form of tables. Hence, this will be a data class. So let's begin by making this class a data class. Done. Now you see, this is giving an error, saying that the data class must have at least one primary constructor. We'll do that in just a while. But before that, let's make this class an entities class. To do that, we will simply write this @entity above the class name. And then we can give this entity a name. It's done like this. If you don't give any name here, it will take the name of the class by default. Now this that we have done here is known as annotation. It is simply used to tell the compiler what we are creating. So this annotation will tell the compiler that it is an entities class. Next, we can go ahead and remove these curly braces and add round brackets here so that we can give the constructor variables. Now we'll add properties to it. Adding book ID, book name, book author, and done. Okay, each table has a primary key, which is the column with all unique values. Let's take an example to understand this. So let's say we have this table. Now two students in a college may have the same names or the same branches, but they cannot have the same roll number, right? Well, if they did, that would be a loophole and big trouble for the college authorities. So anyway, this column which has the roll numbers will then always have unique values, and hence we can call it the primary key. Coming back to the studio for this table, the book ID will be the primary key. To make it the primary key, we will add this annotation in front of the name. If you see, the variable names we have written here are following the conventions of naming variables. But the conventions for naming columns in the database table is a little different. This is how they are written. Now, these columns are not primary keys, but we can annotate them like this by using the term @column_info. Also, here we can also give the names to these variables using the naming conventions of naming columns in a table. So we have created the entities class. But if we want to create multiple tables in the database, then we will require multiple entities class. In such cases, it is a good practice to give the class a specific name rather than a generic one. So let's rename this class to book entity. In order to rename, select the class name, right-click and select refactor and then click on rename. Now change this name to book entity. That being done, we'll create the DAO interface in the next video.